So why have code conventions? Well, there's a number of reasons. First off, 80% of the lifetime cost of a piece of software goes to maintenance. Um, and hardly any software is maintained for its whole life by the original author. So code conventions improve the readability of the software, allowing engineers to understand new code more quickly and thoroughly. And if you ship your source code as a product, you need to make sure it is well packaged and clean as any other product you create. For the conventions to work, every person writing software must conform to the code conventions. Everyone. So, one real quick here, looking at this one. Hardly any software is maintained for its whole life by the original author. You have to remember the chances are you're going to be writing code that someone else is going to be looking at. And maybe someone else is going to have to be working with that code and trying to repair or fix or do some sort of change to it. So if you aren't following code conventions, they're going to have a real hard time understanding what it is your code's doing. And the same thing works the other way. Chances are you're going to have to work with someone else's code. So if they're following the conventions, it makes your life easy. And you can see more information here at the bottom in that link. So let's look at the beginning comments. All source files should begin with a C-style comment that lists the class name, the version info, the date, and copyright notice. So you'll notice it's in the block comment style with the slash asterisk and the asterisk going all the way down, ending with the asterisk star. So you've got your class name, the version info, the date, and then the copyright notice. So then we've got the package and import statements. The first non-comment line of most Java source files is the package statement. So first you've got that comment we just talked about. Then immediately after that comment, you're going to have your package and import. So you'll have your package first and then your imports. And you obviously might have more than one set of imports going on there, but you can have as many as you need. Now, let's look at some of the ideas dealing with the code in of itself. Line length. You want to avoid lines longer than 80 characters since they're not handled well by many terminals and tools. So you don't want something that's too long. Plus, if it's too long, it's going to go well off the screen, and so you have to constantly scroll over to see everything, and that just makes a nightmare. So that gets us to the next idea, which is wrapping lines. So when an expression will not fit on a single line, break it according to these general principles. Break after a comma, break before an operator, align the new line with the beginning of the expression at the same level on the previous line. And if the above rules lead to any confusing code or code that's squished up against the right margin, just indent it 8 spaces instead. Now let's look at an example here of the two ideas. So here we're going to break it along an arithmetic expression. The first we have here is preferred since the break occurs outside the parentheses expression, which is at a higher level. Generally, you want to break things along at a lower level in your order of operations. So here we end it here instead of continuing on, and so the next line, notice it starts here with the operator. The second one, which is not as good, reason is we did break it on an operator, but this parentheses would happen before the minus, so it's better to stop at the parentheses like we did here in this first one. Indentation. There are a number of times when code should be indented and is usually followed, and the indentation is usually followed from the braces. Everything inside the braces should be indented. So this public static main, you notice everything here is indented over. Here another set, we got a while statement. Everything is indented over in the braces. And sometimes you'll see it where the brace isn't here, but instead it's written like that. And that's perfectly acceptable as well. But again, between the braces, you see everything is indented over once. And that is the end of this lesson.